Right, Cronulla and St George from last week, and this resulted in a major upset, I think, in most people's eyes. Cole Pearce, would you agree with that?
Well, a major upset in one way. I suppose in other people's eyes it was a great thing for the Cronulla side, and they played particularly well. I thought the 2 points at the end of the game was not a clear dispute of the way the teams. Either was a 10-point margin, should have been a clear indication of the game. The way they played Cronulla, I thought it was a case of one team putting the tactics of the wet weather tactics. Terry Fearnley telling his players to go out there, well directed by their captain Gavin Miller. A magnificent display of wet weather football. St George, very disappointed with St George in the forwards, particularly their defence. They've got the best defensive record in the competition, St George, but their attack up front is just not there at this stage.
It's there for 20 minutes a game. They just won't put it together.
Not there at all.
We saw Reddy there going for a try, typical of how he played in England.
Have a look at it again.
How much of it do we see? We only saw that.
That's it.
That was all in the whole game.
Correct. That's all we saw. We saw a good try with Johnson, Brian Johnson, the wing, but nothing from the forwards up front.
Right. Well, they ploughed through the mud to pick up $60 a man after tax for their strong 14-12 win over the St George side. I thought Gavin Miller was the man behind the win. I watched the match on tape. Miller used long kicks and short kicks to continually turn St George around, and St George obviously don't like the business of turning around and having to reposition. Cronulla seemed to be more determined on the day, as is often the case when a club has major problems, as you'll be aware, and they're a very financially embarrassed club. Steve Rogers, at centre for St George, was back at his old form for the first time in his new colours, and on the St George performance he may have wished that he never left the Cronulla side.
Rex, the Sorensen boys played very strongly, both of them, and of course they're without Dane today, you know.
Yeah, I think there's only one worry there. It was the goal kicking though, Frank. 3 out of 7, that's a problem for Cronulla. I've said it before and I'll say it again, it's a problem.
Well, the small